I have with me Nicholas Gibbs, who knows everything. That's it. End of the show. Let's do it. Nicholas Gibbs is here because, I'm always looking for somebody to blame it on. I will talk about Friday in a minute, but, this I'm sorry, what is this, Labor Day? This is supposed to be a no non-news day, no nothing going on. Yeah, I mean, it's filled with news, all kinds of stuff going crazy. So much so that I had to put out a video earlier than I was planning to today. It's a crazy amount of stuff, even including Master Plan 4, which just came out. It's the last week and a half, we've had three new cars. Let's see, XL, Performance, Y in Europe, and is the S Plaid, is that's on Jay Leno today? Is that new? I wasn't sure because I'm not paying much attention to S, but
Um, I don't know. I
uh,
have no idea.
you have no idea. Okay, all right. Anyway,
No.
and then all kinds of other stuff. So it's just been a wild and crazy time. But let's go ahead and start though. Just drop back. Let's pull together Friday, because there was a lot of Tesla fans who were quite shocked after Randy had predicted up and to the right, and then all of my up and to the right got taken away in one day. So what happened on Friday, Mister Technical Analyst? Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
hate when
You
you call
hate
me
that
that.
term. Let's see. What happened on Friday, Mr. Analyst, who sometimes helps us with technical issues?
I'm not an analyst. I'm not a technical guy. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. That's what I am, who happens to be uh, interested in Tesla in the markets. Um, no, I think Friday was a nothing burger. It was the last day of the trading month or where the markets were open. Obviously, today's September 1st, so it was last day of August trading. I don't think it's anything. To, People need to chill out. Like, it's a couple dollars pullback. It's really not a big deal. I know people see like 3.5%. That looks like a big number, but like that's nothing for Tesla. We were just teetering with the 300s not too long ago. We're past certain, resistance. So I think it's a nothing burger. Um, I think, I've been saying this for a couple weeks now with you. I still think September will hit in the 400s, or at
Right.
least close to the 400s. Again, I think Monday was just more so people resetting, closing out positions, closing out trades. The biggest thing they should have taken away from last week is the fact that there are so many very large volumes of call options being bought.
Hmm.
So that's the real signal. Don't get distracted by last day of the month trading activity. People need to close things out. There's all kinds of mechanical reasons why people need to do certain things, but I think in general, I think Tesla's in a good spot, barring any unforeseen bad news that comes out.
Okay, so I would agree with you. And now Brian Buong said because of the technical squeeze that's been there recently, it wouldn't shock him if it went ahead and did like a 320 before it goes to 400 or 500.
Do you mean like go to 320 or do you mean like a,
Go down to 320
okay.
from 333 or wherever it was.
Yeah, when you said do a
Oh, I
320, it made me think
see.
like do a 360. It's like, not sure what you're saying there.
You got too much sun today, huh?
I'm reacting to the words you said. Uh, no, I don't. I mean, who knows? I have no idea. But if you ask me to put money on it, I would say we're not going to 320. Just again, if I'm looking at the chart here, I don't think 320 is in the cards. I think we're at interesting levels here. I think we're jumping from here. I think we're bouncing. We're making higher highs, lower lows. This is what you want to see. Again, it's a pullback. Everybody needs to chill out. This is why so many people in the Tesla community haven't made any money in Tesla over the last 5 years is because they freak out about every little pullback and they make stupid decisions. And like I'm just calling you out for what it is. Not you, but in general, the
Those
people.
of you out
This
there
is,
who do that.
yeah, you make stupid decisions. Like you freak out. It's a 3% pullback on Tesla. A 3% pullback on Tesla is nothing. It is literally nothing. All right. We were just at 275 a month and a half ago
Yeah.
with the whole Elon Trump, crap going on. So this is nothing. This is a healthy pullback. Relax. We're going to the end of the year. We're gonna have really good sales and deliveries. FSD is doing well. RoboTaxi expanding. Like the FSD just got launched in Australia, New Zealand. Like everything's fine. Everything's bullish right now. Tariffs. Well, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
ball of wax.
We'll talk about it.
But rates are going to be cut in September. We know that things are good. Things are constructive. I think there's just it's like anytime it pulls back at all, the Tesla community just freaks out,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people just need to chill out. Like it's all right. Like is this your first day in Tesla, owning Tesla stock?
No
Like if
kidding.
it is, like you're in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
But you're right. Like all over X, all I saw was people freaking out on Friday. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like people think that they're invested into Walmart, and Walmart just had a big sell off, and it's like, nope, this is Tesla.
This is Tesla.
This is like about as normal as it gets for Tesla.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Master Plan 4. Now, I thought Elon had just said the other day that Master Plan 4 will be coming out, like I thought, next year. I wasn't expecting it for months. And he said that Master Plan 3 was too complicated and Master Plan 4 would be much simpler, much easier for the average person to understand. So you have read Master Plan 4. I've already reported on it once today, but I really want to hear what your first impressions are of Master Plan 4.
I feel like I'm being set up to be the bad guy here. Uh, that's all right. I'll give my honest answer. Master Plan 4 was garbage. It was like I'll just be honest. That was a lot of writing for nothing. Whoever spent their time putting those words together just wasted all of their time. We didn't learn anything. There was no value added. There's no benefit to anybody. There's nothing new there. All that stuff was a given. It's all stuff that's been talked about for the last 2 to 5 years. We are no better today than we were before we got that.
All right.
It
Well, there
is
you go.
of
Yeah.
absolute no value. We wasted time. We wasted brain cycles. We wasted time reading it. It's I hate to say it, it was kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Okay. So if I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, I would say that you and I
Well,
know.
hold on. Do you agree with me?
Oh, no, I agree. I agree that
Okay.
there was nothing new in there. And when you and I talked about it in the green room, I said, for those of us who are very involved and we watch it every day, there was zero that was added to our knowledge. Zip zero, not a thing, not a single thing. Now he's got a bigger crowd. Okay. I mean, I would think he has a bigger crowd. He needs to be talking to the folks who don't yet understand Tesla or who don't understand what Tesla's doing now compared
But
to
he
what
doesn't care about that.
he doesn't.
Well, either you want to go market FSD and create ads, or you don't care about the bigger crowd. It's one or the other. It can't be both out of one side of your mouth and not out the other. So which one is it?
Well, okay, I can make the argument that he does care what the crowd thinks about how Tesla is positioning itself, that he's always been very, very interested in the mission statement. It's how he hires, it's how he recruits, it's how he positions the company in terms of what he believes the public's mind is, and that he expects the public, once they understand the vision, to go ahead and make decisions based on the quality of the products. That is different from whether he believes that the best marketing approach is to use advertising as such in order to get the message out.
But did you gain any clarity from this?
I didn't, but that's what I started to say a minute ago. There's a different group. There's people who pay way less attention. Why do you think I have a program? What do you think this YouTube video is about? It's to talk to not only the folks that are in the know and who want to be sure that they've got today's most recent information, but it's also for the folks who buy the FUD, for the folks that are read one article and like, oh my gosh, Tesla's the
But
biggest loser in the world, and to help people to understand the direction that Tesla is headed now compared to what that direction they were headed in even 6 months ago.
hold on. Before you said all that, your
Yeah.
premise was that potentially people who they're trying to hire or whatever, those people would not benefit from what was written in this master plan for. What you're talking about are the people in the populace that are just uninformed and uneducated about this space. The people who he would be looking to poach or hire are not is that they're not part of that populace. They're well aware of what's going on. They're well aware of what's happening in this space. So I don't understand who the audience was for this. If it was for the general populace, okay, then advertise.
Yeah, I think that if this was, I'm not suggesting this was a recruiting tool, although it might help it a little bit for the people that are, juniors in university to understand the directionality of Tesla. But it is an overall manifesto about what is on Elon Musk's and the board's heart right now in terms of where they're going. They're no longer in the metal bending. In fact, some of the people that responded to it were like, well, this clearly shows that we're no longer, we're he's not interested in the metal bending, the car business anymore. It's all about AI and how AI. Well, that's not what I took away from it. What I took away from it is no, we have manufacturing expertise, bar none. Nobody can come close. We are the manufacturer. That's what has made us where we are today. And now we've got AI capabilities that are probably also bar none. Certainly on embodied AI, we are so far ahead, it's not even close. And now we're going to combine those two. And what we're going to do is we're going to create an abundant world where everybody, all boats rise. Everybody's going to be able to take part in this future abundance, but it's going to be responsible in that it's going to be a circular economy. It's going to be an economy that pays attention to the resources that we have, and use them wisely with good stewardship.
Yeah, I don't know. I I feel like you could have taken all this energy and you could just put out an ad and done more good in the world.
I'm not arguing. I'm
Personally.
not arguing. I'm not arguing with that position. I would like to see the ad actually maybe that tells that story, but tells it. And in fact, they did. They put out an ad today. It's a little short, another one of these how they do ads today, with all the little B-roll stuff and with a voiceover. Nice, a very good female voiceover on this thing. That was kind of telling the story that was going to be in this master plan 4. Obviously, I would like to see something in between Master Plan 3 and Master Plan 4, which still gives us the details. What does it really mean? What is going to be done to get us to this abundance? What are the things that you haven't told us before?
Well,
Yeah, that are going to get.
exactly.
Yeah,
And that's that I think that's what the master plans used to do.
yeah,
And first of all, the master plans used to be from Elon's point of view.
right.
This felt like it was written from Tesla's point of view, which was, I thought, a interesting change.
Yeah,
Um, but they used to be pretty clear and simple in understanding this is what we're going to do. And by doing this, this will let us do this,
mhm,
etc. Right?
mhm.
This was very much more, I don't know, just generalized, hand sweeping, abundance, super abundance. Oh, we're gonna have uh, autonomous mobility, but we're not gonna talk about like how, where, when, how much, or anything like that. We're gonna have energy integration and robotics, and I don't know. It felt very Elon.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There was none of the Elon go.
You,
Let's.
you know what I would call this? This felt um, there's this concept of day one and then day two. And day one is when you still have that kind of like startup mentality, that like less BS, less red tape, less bureaucracy. Day two is when you want to avoid day two. Day two is when you start becoming very managerial
Corporate.
heavy, very corporate, very right. IBM, very much kind of day two kind of concepts or kind of environment. This feels day two to me, not day one.
All right.
This feels
I think I should make that the thumbnail, and I think I should make it the. I think I should put it in the title, and I think I should. We should both post about it because I think that would unnerve Elon. I think if Elon hears you saying that this sounds day two, it would cause him to go tear it up, tear it to shreds. Let's put out a new master plan for. I think that would make him just cringe.
I honestly reading this is cringy to me. It's it's everything he says he doesn't want. You know what it is? It's this reads the way if I had to make an analogy, Elon's master plans used to be Steve Jobs doing a presentation. This reminds or mimics the new Apple and how cringy their announcements or whatever are. That's the parallel I would say. Like I mean, the irony is crazy to me, but that's how this reads. And for everyone to know, like I didn't come in with this point of view. Like I didn't know this was out yet. And then Randy told me, I went and I read it and I came back on with Randy and I said, was that a bunch of BS or is it just me? And Randy was like, yeah. I was like, okay. Like I was excited. I got all excited, like, oh, it's out. Oh my God. And yeah, so not a hater,
No, no, and I
big
think
Tesla investor. I'm just saying this is,
I think your second description, comparing it to the Steve Jobs versus Cook version, would make
yeah.
Elon even more sad, and potentially even more likely to fire the person who actually wrote that. Well, okay, we'll see what happens in the days and weeks ahead. We might have to wait until the actual earnings report before we hear anything different, but maybe not. Maybe he'll hear what we're saying here. Maybe other. I haven't read a ton of the response from other people to see what a lot of people are saying, but maybe Elon will go, "Oh, this was not good. This is not the right direction in terms of how to keep people excited and looking forward." On the other side of the coin, just to give the optimistic view, not of the actual master plan four, but the overall situation, I'm totally stoked by what I believe is the vision, what I believe is going to happen, the things that he could have put in the report, because I do believe that he's going to do a solar giga. I do believe we're going to, one of the things that was hinted at in the video that came out was possibly we're going to get a new mega pack that's between the size of the Powerwall and the existing mega pack. I think that would be a big seller for manufacturers and others, hospitals, things like that. So I think there's going to be new products. He does say in there, new products, more new products. So I think new products, positive directionality, getting what we said, give us some more, Elon. Give us a 20-minute version of fleshing this out.
I like that.
All right. You mentioned a few minutes ago, let's really change subjects. You mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you kind of said tariffs and you go, oh, that's a whole nother story. But actually, it was one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, we have got, and this will be completely new. Nobody's talking about this. And I'm really curious to see what you're going to say. Japan is in trouble. China's in trouble. England is in trouble. Germany's in trouble. I'm talking financially. I'm talking about their countries, their business environment. France is practically going to throw out. Apparently, they're going to have another election. So Canada's in big trouble. Their economy's going down the tubes fast. Is there a chance? So I like what Trump is doing with the tariffs. Is there a chance that it is going to hurt those trading partners enough to get to the situation where it actually hurts us?
Um, Can you maybe parse that out a little more? Do you
Okay.
mean
So
how so?
these economies, the most of the Western European economies, China, Japan, and Canada were already flat. They were
Yeah, I get that.
they were already not doing well. Okay, the tariffs are clearly not helping German auto manufacturers, not helping French wines. It's not help, just go around the world to what each of these countries do well. So all of them now are worse off probably today than they were 3 months ago in terms of their exports, which is going to further undermine their economies. Canada is definitely feeling it in a major way, and yet they're
Yeah.
not even, in my opinion, doing what they need to do, and which they probably have the best chance of recovering because of their natural resources. But is there a chance that if we get all of these countries, actually their economies trending into maybe recession, does this come back to bite us?
So okay, so here's the reason why I want you to kind of like
Okay.
maybe explain a little more because what I think is happening is I think everybody's holding out for what happened on Friday. So Friday, the courts ruled, and obviously Trump's going to appeal it. They ruled that Trump's tariffs, his unilateral tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, are unconstitutional. That it has to be that tariff is a tax, is what they decided, and that Congress is the only one who's allowed to impose taxes. And so that's where I think the wrinkle is in what you're saying. If the courts weren't an issue, if what the let's just be honest, it's not just the court, it's the Democrat Party. They're trying to put a wrench into what Trump's doing. If that wasn't an issue, I would say no to your answer because that would force all those countries to come bend the knee to work with us. We're the biggest consumer in the world. It's just the way it works, right? Like we can both take on the pain, we can both hurt, but they're going to hurt worse than us, right? It's like if you get in a fight with someone, great. We can both punch each other and we're both getting hurt, but at the end of the day, if my punch does more damage to you every time we go back and forth, you're going to lose at the end of the day. Yeah, I'll be hurt, but it's Cold War, same thing, right?
Mhm.
We can both go back and forth. But at the end of the day, if I have more money than you, you're going to lose. Like it's a war of attrition.
Mhm.
And so with tariffs, it's a war of attrition as well. The wrinkle comes into Friday. And so if you were to be able to live in a vacuum, take what happened Friday out, take the politics out of it, then I would say, no, we are not going to get hurt because at the end of the day, thinking bigger picture, those countries will have to concede or find a middle ground with us, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
To come to terms. There's no choice, right? France, Canada, look, we could not do any business with them for the rest of our lives as a country. It won't affect us. It will affect them. They will cripple as economies. All right. Like it's just the way it is.
Right.
China, same thing. Look, we're very dependent. We're very linked to China. They're very linked to us.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, we are consuming. We're not going to die from not consuming. Their economy will die from not being able to get the things that they build out. Right? It's like every household. At the end of the day, if you cannot go to work and make money, you're going to be in big trouble. But if I told you, hey, you can no longer spend any money on things that you just want, yeah, you're going to be upset. Your level of comfort might degrade, but you're not going to be ruined, right? So there's levels to this. But I do think that Friday kind of threw a wrench into things because I think it drags things out further. It means that Canada, China, whoever else, they're going to further drag things out to see, okay, well, what's the Supreme Court say? Right? Like, how far can we drag this out to see what kind of handcuffs Trump's going to have on
Yeah.
before we actually start to negotiate?
Mm.
And th- that's the reality of things. We can't just ask questions and answer questions in a vacuum. So that's how I see it. I don't know if that's where you're going with it or
Okay.
what you think on that,
Yeah.
but that's how I took your question.
Yeah, let me try it just one other way. Let's assume that Supreme Court says, Trump, all this stuff is fine. These two things aren't fine, but there's a workaround, and Trump, or they don't matter. Those two things don't matter as much. Let's just say that Trump gets his way. All of these countries come around, but they're still at the end of all of the negotiating, at the end of all of the transactions. The countries I just listed are exporting less than they were to the United States, and that causes those 5 or 6 countries I mentioned to go into recession. If those countries go into recession, they buy less from us. Now, it can be less important that we lose that revenue than it is to them, but it could still potentially be enough to keep our economy from, well, it will keep our economy from expanding the rate that it otherwise would.
If they go into recession, I'm of the opinion that's bullish for the United States.
Oh, okay.
You want to see inflation drop to the floor, let them go into recessions. Let all those other countries go into recession. We will thrive because we'll have leverage
Yeah.
to
Well, they'll drop their
negotiate.
price. Yeah. Well,
They'll
drop.
have to.
Right.
Exactly. And guess who benefits from that? The consumers in our country.
Right.
Like Trump understands what most people don't understand, that we have the leverage in the world.
Right.
All right. When it comes to tariffs, no one's going to negotiate with us until you do the one thing that will hurt all of them, and is restrict access to the U.S. economy. The second you do that, you've got everyone by and that's it. It's over, one way or another. Right now, they're just holding out to see what the Supreme Court decision ends up being, which is the smart thing for them too, just to be fair.
Right.
Like, it would be stupid of them to just go ahead and try to, it's smart for them to slow walk things.
Right.
Until they see how things actually settle out with our own drama internally. Like, you don't want to commit to anything yet, especially if you can slow walk it. You want to do what they've all been doing. Oh yeah, we're working towards it. Oh, we're slowly making progress, and just like, okay, how long can we drag this out? When's the last moment where we have to actually do something? And I think that's what's happening. But at the end of the day, all things being equal, the Supreme Court declares that which I'm of the opinion, and this isn't a political thing, he is well within his rights, in my opinion. We have had this imbalance in trade essentially since World War II, which is done in the benevolent nature of the United States, which is and I know a lot of people don't think the United States is benevolent. We are.
Yeah.
Like we have not been, for sure. We've done lots of bad things. Iraq's stupid. CIA's overthrown governments in South America. Like, yeah, we've done lots of bad things, but we've also done a lot of good things. One of the good things we did was after we decimated Japan, we helped them rebuild. We helped Germany rebuild. We gave out loans. We helped all those countries. We allowed them to put tariffs on us so that they could help rebuild. And that framework has been in place all this time. And we haven't had a reconciliation of that. And that's what's happening right now. Something that's long overdue. And so in my opinion, it is essentially a national emergency. It really is. Because we're at a point where we can't afford to continue to put the mask on everybody else before we put it on ourselves. And it's time we put our own mask on first. So, but I think that we will be fine. I think at the end of the day, I think the Supreme Court will find that Trump is well within his rights. Because again, the law is very ambiguous for a reason, right? To give bias towards the presidency or the executive branch rather than it. Yeah, so I'll leave it there. But right. And I would think this regardless of who's in power. Like, just to be frank, like even if it was Biden still in her hairs, I would still feel the same way. Like I would say, like, even if I didn't agree, I do think it's ambiguous for a reason to give bias towards the executive branch. And if this was the logic of any candidate, I would say that's very cogent. That's a very good response. We've had these rules and these tariffs in place since World War II for certain reasons. We have not been in that climate for a long time. It's time to reset. And it's just, it doesn't make sense that Europe can sell vehicles here, but we can't sell there. Makes no sense. It makes no sense that China has open, like free trade is great, but it's not free
Right.
right now, right? So that's a problem.
Yeah.
We're the most free trade country in the world, but it's not reciprocated.
Okay. So let me throw another uh, deep ball. No, what is it? Anyway, let me go even deeper into world economics right now. All of this maybe plus AI plus Bitcoin and blockchain. We now have a very, very interesting, I guess is the right word for it. I don't know if interesting is even good enough. I think maybe a shocking set of assets uh, around the world. We've got gold just going crazy, and silver has finally caught up. Well, maybe not caught up, but silver is now catching up. So gold and silver going crazy. Bitcoin, after going crazy for 10 years, now seems to be flatlining, maybe going down as gold continue. Well, for a
Oh,
week,
these.
is that,
Yeah.
but again, as gold though continues way up, equities at 23, 70 all-time highs this year for the S&P after huge 2 years in a row. Now that's kind of normal for like it happened before when we had the 90s with when we had the internet going crazy. And so this would be not a shock to see it again with the AI going crazy, but it's still really, really high. We've got uh, just reporting today, Japan and England. Well, Japan's bonds have been out of whack for a while now. They've been going steady, steady up, and now England's are going up a ton. They're like at 5.5 or something like that. Do you think could there be a potential reset that might be a little dangerous in the monetary world?
Um, can you just define what you mean by monetary?
All those things. So you got the main thing in well, all those things. So your financial markets, bonds, stocks, silver, gold. The only thing that's not being impacted so far is commodities. Commodities are super low compared to everything else. But you got bonds, stocks, uh, uh, regular currencies, and gold, silver, and then the new currencies, which all seem to be yeah.
Uh, I would say I think you're going to see everything continue to go up and to the right.
all
Everything,
all of them. Wow.
everything. You name the asset class, and I think it'll go up and to the right, and it'll continue. Um, I would not by any means say that Bitcoin's flatlining. It's literally doubled in less than a year. Like like Bitcoin is just not the one to pick on. Bitcoin has outperformed every asset class over the last 10 years by
A ton.
100 miles, right? So like that's not the one that I would be picking on, just because it's taking a breather. I again, I'm not a big Bitcoin guy by any means, but call a spade when you see it. Uh, so I would not touch that one. Um, I think markets react ahead of time, Randy, and you know this. Right now, we know that we've got 2 to 3 cuts planned for this year. That seems pretty set in stone at this point.
Yep. Yep.
And the markets will start to price that in ahead of time.
hmm
I would say ignore everything that happened over this past week because, again, that was all noise going into the final week of the month. August is just it's its own beast. September, keep in mind, September tends to be the most volatile month.
Right.
So be wary of that. But with rates coming down, that means you're going to have easier money out there. And that's very stimulative to economies. And when economies get a boost of stimulant that tends to create more, just call it energy
Yeah.
in the markets,
Right.
which allows people, companies to produce and spend, right? And the turnover of money and investments and investing, and that creates job creation. And more job creation because more people money to spend, right? It starts to turn over and it starts to happen over and over. Um, so I think things will continue to, and there's a lot of money on the sidelines that I think will start to come back into the markets. I think you'll see bonds go down because of this. People want to get out of these more secure defensive holdings and they'll want to go back into active investments. Um, so I think you're just going to see that whether we have a lull in Bitcoin or a lull in the stock market, I think you're just going to see everything continue to go up and to the right. And I've been saying this for almost a year now. We are in the roaring 2020s. We are. We are in this golden age. It, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be smooth.
Right.
It's probably gonna be very rocky, very uncomfortable, but it will be up and to the right. It will be. And my opinion is you want to have every dollar invested as you can, as you know, to the point of your ability to sleep at night. Right?
Mhm.
Don't do anything stupid. Don't sit there and put a whole bunch of YOLO $1,000 Tesla call options, right? Like don't do that. But make sure you can go to sleep at night. But I would, I feel like we're at a point where you really want to have every dollar allocated to a growing productive asset. Um, so yeah, I just think everything's going to go up and to the right. And when you do that too, keep in mind, when that's a different situation than what we had before. There's two types of easy money. Sorry, I'm like all over the place here. I'm trying to make sure everyone understands what I'm saying. I know you do, but I just want to make sure everyone understands. You've got easy money, meaning the Fed lowers rates, so it's more advantageous, it's more digestible to take out loans to invest into your companies, uh, even to do stupid things like margin or to buy a house, right? Whatever. That's different, easy money. That's very stimulative to the economy. It allows companies to hire more, all that stuff, right? That's great. But then there's the stupid type of easy money that we had before, which is let me give a check into the hands of every person in the country. That's stupid easy money because all you do when you do that, you incentivize a uncontrollable flow of money turnover.
Mhm.
And that takes, and that's what will create inflation. Lowering rates, making it easy to borrow, doesn't necessarily mean you're injecting more dollars into the economy,
Right.
right? It can mean that, and it probably will. But even in that mechanism, it's not just the increase of M2 or money supply, it's also the velocity of the money. And by doing it through dropping rates or going through bonds, you control that acceleration of the money turnover. So it's not as complicated as like I'm saying it. I'm just
Yeah.
probably not saying it well enough, but it's a lot different than just giving money to someone saying, "Hey, go do what you want." It's
Right.
like the old thing where people talk about if you took the entire all the capital in the world, what is this like $615 trillion, and you split up between every single person on Earth, right? So however many billions of people that is, everyone would have roughly $67,000 in one year. Odds are the top people in the world who were the wealthiest would probably be the wealthiest people again,
Right.
right? And that's why you don't want to just give money out to people because they will spend it and they'll just throw it away. And they'll all spend it in ways that create inflation rather than strategic
Sure.
strategically using it.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how else to say that in a way that makes sense.
Well, that makes total sense. Okay, so the optimist in me, which is almost all of me.
You, Optimus?
Well, I look at AI, and there's going to come a moment, there's going to come a time, there's going to come a year when productivity is just going to go crazy because of AI. And some of that will be Tesla with the robotaxis and the Optimi. Maybe we don't really see that in the economy for 2 years, 3 years. Maybe we really start to see it 2 or 3 years out. And it won't be just our robots. It won't be just Tesla's robots. It'll be other people's robots too. But that is going to have, I think, a meaningful impact on the economy. But also we've got the digital AI side. And of course, we're writing a book all about what that's going to do. And it's going to hit productivity. Then you just mentioned a second ago, you said, well, we've got all this money coming into the economy, because of the I forgot what you were. I knew it 2 seconds ago. You said we would have a lot of money coming into the economy because
Rate cuts?
the rate cuts. Yes, I'm sorry, that's what I couldn't remember. So we got money coming. We have people's,
But it's not necessarily money come in,
as a stimulus,
yeah,
easier to get loans.
easier. Yeah.
Okay, then we've got the big beautiful bill. Clearly, that stimulus. Nobody, not even the leftist, is going to look at that and go, "Oh no, that's not stimulus." Well, of course it's stimulative. Everything in there is stimulative for corporate as well as for the private individual. And then on top of all of that stuff, you've got the tariff money coming in that's going to help to bring down the U.S. debt. I don't
Maybe.
know. Huh?
Maybe the U.S. might have to pay that back.
Bring down the deficit. Bring down the debt. Yeah, may have to pay it back. Assuming we don't have to pay it back, brings down the deficit. By the way, all of the steel and copper and all those were okayed by the court. Even this court that made the decision the other day. So all of this would be like the reciprocal ones, the punitive ones. Those are the ones that are in question.
But that's the majority of it.
I think it's the majority of it in terms of
it is.
Yes, right. So, okay. So assuming we don't have that thing as a problem and everything goes forward as planned, all of this is extremely stimulative. Oh, I forgot. I know I forgot one more. We've got all this money that Trump has negotiated to come into the country to build these factories. That's got to start hitting by the fourth quarter, at least in terms of going into the, shoveling the dirt, putting up the buildings, buying the equipment to go in the buildings, et cetera. That's got to start hitting the economy fairly soon. Is there any offset to any of that would cause anybody to think that we're not going into the golden age?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think timing these things, nobody ever gets it right. So I don't know. I don't know how to actually respond to that because that goes back to timing and I don't know how that's going to work out. I can't foresee or think critically about things that revolve around certain timing of impact and effects. Like talking about rate cuts, that's one thing. Okay, I know that. I know it's going to happen on the state. Like I can think rationally about that. But when will XYZ start to have an effect? And when will I can't answer. I don't know.
Well, the big beautiful bill, we do know that the tax incentives for the average working staff, those are not being taken out of their paychecks, right? They're not being added back into their paychecks right now. So we do know that we'll see a stimulus February, March, April next year as the people get much larger refunds than they were expected. That's something we can time. So we do know that the corporations get this write-off immediately rather than next year. So that's already going to be impacting their bottom lines this year. That's already going to come out in their earnings reports in the fourth quarter, first quarter, et cetera. It may be stimulating them to go buy equipment or build buildings already. So these are not long-term things. These are happening in the next 2 or 3 quarters.
Yeah. But how? Yeah. But we don't know the impact. I don't know. That's just too fuzzy for me to. I don't know. It's hard for me to opine on this when I can't see it.
All right. Well, let's look at the number. Well, wait a minute. Is there anything on Tesla that I should have covered? Because I've already covered a lot this morning. I covered a lot a couple of hours ago. Is there anything that you are aware of on Tesla today? Because there was a lot of news. There was the Model S review by Lars with Jay Leno's Garage that had a couple of pieces of news with that, which I reported on. There was the little video that came out. There's a few things. Is there anything that you're aware of that maybe I haven't touched on?
Um, no, not really. I mean, I think you tend to be pretty on top of everything Tesla related. Uh, I, I'm more interested, we'll see. Guys, I just read the Master Plan Part 4, so I might read it again and completely have a different opinion, but just giving you off the cuff my first reaction to it.
100%.
Um, I'm still, I'm very baffled by it. I don't, I don't really know where Tesla's going right now. I don't really know what they're doing. And I don't think most people really know either. I mean, the, I'm fine being the bad guy here. All
Oh,
right.
right, go ahead. I'm bad at slapping you down.
Everyone's lying to themselves if they actually even think remotely that they understand which way Tesla's going right now. We don't know if they're actually coming out with a new vehicle. We don't know if it's just an iteration of the Model Y. We don't understand yet what their process is going to be for expanding RoboTaxi. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to do with land in Mexico. We don't know what they're going to do about the Model YL here in the United States, or why they wouldn't do that. Are they going to, right, the whole Cybercab, there's supposed to be another vehicle that was similar to it being built. We don't know what's going on with that. And it just seems like there's a lot that we don't know right now. We don't know if Elon's going to get paid. We don't know. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on right now with Tesla. There's so much that we don't know that I think it's, as a community, people need to start making more noise about this in a healthy way, in a productive way, not in a, it's not bashing Tesla, it's not bashing Elon, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I think as shareholders, we have a right to know like what's going on. Now, on an optimistic note, I'm optimistic that in the next couple of weeks, we're going to get Elon's comp package outline, that we're going to get the proxy for what are we going to invest in XAI, et cetera, right? So I think that could be a place where we get a lot of clarity on a lot of these things. There's
Ver-
obviously
Version 14.
reasons. Version 14, yeah, but even that is, there's still ambiguity around that, right? It's Elon says it's going to be 2 to 3x better than humans. Oh, what do you mean by that? That could mean a lot of different things. Like, in what regard? As far as how many miles before an accident, how many miles before an intervention? Like in what? In what regard? Like, what's for someone who's very engineering minded, he sure lacks a lot of data. And when he talks about these things, which again, it's fine. But I just think we need to start having a higher standard for requesting the information, look, it's not me. The, he doesn't respond. He's responded to two of my posts ever. But the Omars, the Tesla Boomer Mamas, you, Randy, the Herberts, the all these people who he actually responds to, in my opinion, they need to actually ask the critical questions. And a lot of times I don't see them doing that. It's it's a little bit like, oh my God, he responded to me. Yay, let me not hurt the relationship. Um, but I think we just need to be a little more transparent. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how else to say this.
yeah. For me, usually I put out my questions first. I'm usually first, usually about 2.5 to 3 weeks before the meeting. And that's when I put out my most important questions, because I'm not really I don't feel it's that likely that they're going to happen between the meetings. So that's when I usually put them out. I try to be first with them because I want people to be able to read those and then come up with their own. But I think that in between, usually it's the guessing game. So we guess, when is the rider, the safety rider going to be taken out? When is when are they going to open it up to more more people to have the app? When will they change from a safety driver to a safety rider in San Francisco? Now, maybe some of those are unknowable or unknown, because Phil Beisel was on my show the other night. He goes, "Look, the engineers are all over this, and the safety riders and the safety drivers, they're getting data every day. Then they're taking the data, they're putting it back in the system. And if there'll be a day when the engineers go, I think we've got what we need. I'm not sure we're going to get enough more to justify holding off any longer." And that'll be at least one of the reasons why they finally, it's put down the decision to go ahead and open it up more. So I'm not sure, I think the overarching thing right now is it's all about RoboTaxi. It's all about Optimus. That's the focus of Elon Musk. Therefore, it's the focus of the company. He repeated today that Optimus will eventually be 80% of the revenue of the company. So I think if we understand that that's where his head is at, yeah, I'm going to come out with a new product here, and I'm going to make a change in this product over here. There'll be lots of good, fun things in between, but no, it's all about RoboTaxi and Optimus. And that was pretty much restated in the Master Plan 4.
Yeah, and again, I don't disagree with that. I think we as shareholders, we know that much. And if this was a normal company, if this was any other company, not like we would even get the opportunity to ask these questions anyways.
Right.
Right. So I completely understand that. And if I was someone else listening to this, that'd be my first rebuttal. I'd be like, dude, you've got unprecedented access. The CEO tells you more than anything. Like that's my initial instinct. But here's the wrinkle. Cool. But guess what? Once you open that door, you open that door.
Set
Tim
expectations.
Cook doesn't open that door.
Yep.
He doesn't open the door for you to ask questions, follow-up questions, and like, well, what do you mean by this? Well, you said this. Well, what about that? He doesn't give you that. You don't get that. Elon's opened that door. All right. Well, when you open the door, then guess what? That door leads to more doors, and it's Pandora's box in many ways. And I love it. I prefer this all day, every day. But at the same time, I feel like we have to have some clarity on where are we truly going? How are we truly getting there? You're right. Robotaxi autonomy and humanoids. We get that. Humanoids are not happening for the next 2 years, Randy. It's not. Promise you. I promise you, it's not happening for the next 2 years.
Well, that's another bet. I never bet anybody on anything, but
I'll bet you on that.
there'll be humanoids in the factories in the first quarter. There'll be humanoids for sale by the end of the year.
By the end of the year?
Yeah. By the end of
how much?
26.
20 grand? How much we put in on this? Name it.
Coffee.
I'll take it.
Coffee.
That's 20 grand is a lot of coffee, Randy. I will, you guys name it. You put the number on it. I will bet you that we will not be seeing Tesla selling humanoids, actually selling them
in 2020.
And I don't mean, a little beta semi truck to Pepsi, whatever. That's not selling. I'm talking about selling. You will not see that in 2026.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. That's an interesting position, because I am so far away from you on that one.
Sure. But we need to learn from our previous mistakes. We all would have thought RoboTaxi would have been everywhere by 2025 and 2020. So how are you taking how off everyone was on the RoboTaxi and applying it to humanoids?
I think because we're seeing so much solid activity from others.
Have you?
Yeah, there's
What
actually
solid activity.
There are humanoids being sold already in China.
Where do you actually see humanoids everywhere being used in production? Where do you see that?
Yeah, they're being sold. No, they're being sold in China.
By who, to who, and using how?
What's that company? What's that company's 𝐐𝐤𝐽? It's single something, single, they sell them for 16 grand a piece or whatever it is.
Okay, so they have something up for sale. Okay.
They may have very much more limited capabilities.
Oh yeah, but see, look at this. I already got you. You don't even know what they're doing, what they're selling. For all you know, they're selling it and it's just an ornament in a factory. You don't actually know. So this is what I'm saying. You, we need to take our learning lessons from how RoboTaxi will roll out, understand that humanoids is orders of magnitude more difficult and more complicated, and extrapolate and be reasonable in our timelines. RoboTaxi, I think that happens now. That's
Now,
happening now. And that's, I think, going to scale pretty aggressively. Humanoids, I think everyone needs to be cautious on their expectations. And if you're not iterating, in my opinion, if you're not iterating on how you were wrong when it comes to RoboTaxi, I think you're going to make the same mistakes. Same way people do the same thing. People with Teslas and just the vehicle industry, the vehicle part of it, people really underestimated how fast things would ramp, how fast Giga Texas would ramp up, how fast Berlin would ramp up. Wrong, 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 over and over. Here comes autonomy. Oh, well, this is different, right? Oh, we're seeing progress, right? Oh, we're seeing all this happening, right? We had the technology every day and we were still so wrong. Humanoids, all we ever see are little clips, little 30-second videos, and somehow we think that from now that by the end of next year that we're gonna be selling it to Amazon and Johnson and Johnson and Walmart and like I think not.
yeah, that's good. That's a good bet. But I don't bet real money. Are you kidding me? I've been burned way too many times. I stopped betting anybody anything
How
about
is coffee not real money? You're just choosing to use coffee as a
that's
mechanism, but the medium is still money.
all right. Okay. I'm willing to bet, $3. All right.
What
So
coffee are you getting for $3? Come, what is it? You're in California. I know you're not getting coffee for $3. Look at everybody. Come on, Randy. You know Randy's at least got $7.99 for a cup of Joe.
well, I was thinking about what do you call it? A restaurant coffee, not
You're gonna take me to the Denny's?
Denny's. Yeah, Denny's coffee. It's pretty
All
good.
you can drink, Nick. All you can drink.
Or my wife says that the donut coffees are the best coffees. You know,
Donut coffees?
I mean, like the what's it called? Dunkin' donut coffee.
Oh, gross.
You think that's gross? Huh?
No. Yeah, don't.
Okay, listen, we
What
got
is
to get out
wrong?
of here. Um,
Oh yeah.
Tesla is moving up
Is it
334.51. So it's up 64 cents.
booming?
That's booming. It's booming. And but sadly, the bonds are not going anywhere like what we want them to do. The bonds are up 3.3 basis points. Not horrible. Still sitting at 4.26. That is not the direction I want them to go, but I'm guessing this might have something to do with that business you're talking about, with the tariff decision on Friday, might be impacting the bonds.
Um, maybe.
Maybe. Oil up a little bit, up 62 cents in the pre-market, 64.63. Not much different than what you and I were talking about on Tuesday. Pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah. Natural
This is
gas,
interesting.
same thing, right around $3. That's where it's been. It's been as low as like it's been, it's very volatile. It's been like 240. It's been 340, but it's been pretty close to $3 now for a week or so. Gold, all-time high, 3640 pre-market, 3,552.50. So significantly all-time out, over a 1% up.
Well, Randy, educate us here.
Sure. Yeah, right.
And that if anyone's from Newcastle, that was a Newcastle educate us, meaning me. Uh, I heard something about. I'm gonna butcher this. I heard something out of the corner of my ear. Wasn't really paying attention. Something about Trump's trying to get something pegged back to the to gold. You know anything what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's literally on my list to go look up what I heard, but I don't even know where to start.
yeah. So there is. So one of the things would be what's it called? To mark to market our gold because
Okay.
the gold that's held in the reserves, it's not marked to market. It's at the price that it was 30 years ago or something. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly how long ago. So it's at $200 or I don't know what the number is. So one of the things people have said is we need to mark to market the gold that's in the reserve. At least bring it up to current. And then maybe hold it at that level for another year, or maybe do it every year or something, not necessarily daily. But that's one of the ideas. And then yes, I think there is some conversation about what we should be doing with all of it. Again, because of crypto, because of blockchain, because of all of this, we're going to have this restructuring of international monetary systems. And gold is still, obviously, gold's still a serious player, and silver is up 2.11% in the pre-market, up to $41, blasting through 39.50, which is its old all-time high. So yeah, I think there's probably some really smart people probably need to decide how the US government should be looking at this entire thing. That's why I brought it up early.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I it's interesting. I'm kind of I'm reassessing my whole point of view on our deficits and our debt. It's not something that I'm ready to really talk about, but I'm becoming more and more into the camp that it doesn't matter.
Mm. Well, we can talk
And
about that. Why don't we put that on our list? Because
yeah, we can put that on for
you're
maybe
not
next week.
you're not alone. There's some smart people that agree with you.
Yeah, I'm
Tom Lee,
so some
Tom Lee agrees with you.
oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I I've kind of stolen something from
Okay.
Chamath
Yeah. Propaganda.
Patia,
Yeah.
however you say that. Don't ask me to spell it.
That's
Where whenever he's learning something, he'll try to write like an essay on it
mhm,
to
mhm.
truly like test his understanding of it and just to really cement down his understanding of it. And so that's kind of what I've been doing with this topic, and I'm completely changing my point of view that, or at least I think I am, that I really don't think our deficits and our debt are bad anymore.
The only thing that I'm just gonna, I understand I think I totally understand what Tom Lee's position and maybe
I
Chamath's position is on this.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Chamath agrees with this, by the way. So
Okay.
I'm just saying his. I brought him up because he writes ideas down
I,
to cement them.
okay, I think he might though. So, but what I will say is I do believe that the amount of the budget that's used up by paying interest on the debt does matter. And
I
so,
don't think it does.
okay, but that'd be good, a good conversation. So let's
Yeah.
jump into that another day. We have got Bitcoin at flat as it can be at 109. So I think the all-time high now is 124, 123, something like that. I forget exactly. It was up in that range. I'm also reporting Ether now, which is down 3.63% at 4,306. And the equities are really flat. They were up a little bit. Now they're down a little bit. 0.05% pretty much across the board, negative.
Mm.
So last thoughts for tomorrow?
So it's so funny. I'm while we're talking here, I'm quickly doing like research right now because, like I told you, I heard this thing about pegging something back to the dollar or to the gold or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
whatever, and you helped me get a little more of the context because it was literally I have it here on my notes of like what was this about, and as you were sitting there talking about Bitcoin, all that, and Ether, I was doing a little research over here, right? Because I think I can multitask, but I can't. Anyways, ironically enough, this ties right back into what I just brought up about me reevaluating my
Yeah.
point of view on
Yeah.
debts and deficits.
Yeah.
So I'm about to go down a rabbit hole here. But to you just asked me a question about any other thoughts. Uh, I think tomorrow's gonna be a pretty interesting day.
I do too.
Um, I think tomorrow is actually going to be a flat to positive
Hmm.
day, which will be interesting. And the reason I think that's interesting is because it would show that the markets think that the Supreme Court, or that the decision on Friday, forget Supreme Court, that decision on Friday was a nothing burger, which it better be, because the implications are crazy otherwise.
Right.
The implications would be that the U.S. has to pay back a lot of the tariffs we've picked up. It would mean that these other countries have leverage over us
Right.
instead of us on them, and that Trump would only have the ability to do like a 15% or something like that tariff.
Mhm.
So it would be, in my opinion, a national monetary suicide
Mhm.
to not allow him to do what he's doing.
I also,
Um,
so I've already said this out loud on on X, but I don't think I've said it on the program. From a legal standpoint, and I think I took one class in international law. From a legal standpoint, um, in terms of how the Supreme Court could decide, he's done this based on this emergency act. So the part that's being questioned is whether there's really an emergency or not. And so I think that's vague enough, as you pointed out earlier. I think whether there's an emergency or not is vague enough that with 6 members of the Supreme Court being Republicans, I believe he'll win this 5-4, and nobody will be able to question it because it's vague. Is it an emergency? Is it an emergency? What's an emergency?
well, and that's the whole point, right? Like it's the ambiguity is there not by accident,
Yeah.
right? The ambiguity is there by design. It's the same reason it's the pursuit of happiness, not the right to happiness, right? These
Yeah.
words are intentional in
Yeah.
there, right? Words have meaning and they shouldn't be ignored. And when there's ambiguity left there, it's for a purpose. And I think during the All In podcast this past weekend, they were talking a lot about the Fed Reserve, and Jason was on his high horse saying, "Oh no, they're supposed to be independent. They are independent. All this stuff." And David Sachs, like, dude, just say it what it is. They're not. It's pipe. It's they're partisan. We
Yes.
know that the Fed's partisan.
100%.
The Supreme Court's partisan.
Partisan.
We know this. Like we can stop playing this air where the Fed's independent. Oh, the Supreme Court's no, they're not. They're not. The Supreme Court's not independent. The Fed's not independent. We know it's not. So we don't need to keep playing this game of like it's like this moral high horse. Like, oh no, they're supposed to be agnostic. And I know that's not what you're asking. I'm going a whole different rabbit hole here. But I loved what Chamath was saying because I've been saying the same thing to you for I don't know how long now, almost 2 years maybe, that the Fed is pointless. If you want to know what the rates are going to be, just look at the bond market. It'll tell you whether they're going to raise or cut. I've been saying this to you for almost 2 years now, Randy. And now you have Chamath and David and them saying essentially get rid of the Fed.
Yeah.
Well, at least get rid of them dealing with monetary policy,
Right.
right? Like they don't need to deal with that. They don't need to deal with rates. Let the market dictate that. And Chamath brought up a really good point. The stock market quickly discounted right after Liberation Day,
Mhm.
and in less than a month, they repriced the risk of it, and the markets rebounded because they assess and they took in the news. The market reassessed it, built it in, they moved on.
Yep.
Before the Fed could ever even have a meeting.
Eating.
And
Yeah.
the Fed's now trying to wait a year to see, well, what are the effects? Well, the stock market already dealt with it.
Right. 100%.
Like market efficiency is unparalleled. We are as Elon would say, we're moving at the speed of our meat sticks, rather than letting the market do what it wants.
I like it.
Anyways,
All
not
right.
where you're going with this. I'm dragging this out. I apologize.
It's perfectly okay. Nobody that watches this show seems to care how long you're on with me. They still watch the darn thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is about you, but there you go. All right. Nicholas Gibbs. Oh, yeah. To all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.